Some more people were tweeting at me telling me to do a reaction to the new Mel Kiper Jr. mock draft. If you guys do not follow me on Twitter, the link is at Bengal YouTube in the description per usual. Just had a really fun encounter. I posted about Earl Thomas yesterday being the best safety of the 2010s, which I think is true. Not only just my opinion, but three-time All-Pro player in that time period. And this guy goes, I think we were all forgetting the actual best safety of the 2010s, Harrison Smith. Very good safety, underrated. He goes, Earl and Cam were better, which is debatably true on Cam Chancellor. And then he goes, I disagree. Harrison Smith is still good. Cam and Earl really aren't. Cam Chancellor hasn't played in a few years. Earl Thomas hasn't played in a year. So this is not relevant. It's not the 2010s anymore. 2020 was not the 2010s. So I said, well, it isn't the 2010s anymore. And he goes, that's true, but Harrison Smith is still a good safety. And I'm like, huh? It's just not even related at all. Anyway, follow me on Twitter, and you can suggest more video ideas. Twitter.com/BengalYouTube. Link, as always, is in the description. But we're looking at Mel Kiper Jr.'s new mock draft. Came out on February 25th. If you guys like the video, subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, it would mean the world to me as we push toward 300,000 subscribers. Jaguars, go Trevor Lawrence. That one makes sense to me. But in this one, has the Jets moving down. A team that definitely should be in the market to take a quarterback. Unless they think that Sam Darnold's still the guy somehow. They have the Jets moving back. Atlanta moves up to number 2 to take Zach Wilson. Makes a lot of sense to me. Zach Wilson's really, really good and a future franchise quarterback. The Falcons talked about the potential of moving up. I listened to an interview with their new GM, and they said they're in a really good spot where they can move up, move down, stay where they are. Just some classic, we'll see what happens GM talk of not going to say anything, but saying a lot while saying nothing. So Zach Wilson makes sense. Future franchise quarterback for the Falcons, who is not going to rock with Matt Ryan forever. They just can't. They aren't going to do that. Matt Ryan's too old. His contract is too expensive, and they can opt to go with a different guy that could be their future for the next 5, 10, maybe even longer than that, rather than Matt Ryan, who's their future for maybe the next year or two. So Zach Wilson makes a lot of sense to me. Devontae Smith teams up with Tua Tagovailoa, former Alabama quarterback. Listen, I like Devontae Smith. I think he's probably the most overrated player in the draft right now. Won the Heisman, and there's talk about him being receiver 1. I just don't buy it. I think he's the 3rd best receiver in the class. He is a really, really good player, but this is not a player that should go top 3 in my opinion. I don't value the award at all. No GM values any award at all. Daniel Jeremiah has said as much, and it's very true, because otherwise you'd see the Heisman winner go number 1 overall every year if they're in the draft, which they don't, ever. Like, Lamar Jackson, Heisman winner, went at the very end of the first round. Like, Kyler Murray won the Heisman, went number 1 overall. I get that. Baker Mayfield won it, went number 1 overall. But plenty more guys have won the Heisman recently and not gone number 1 overall than have. It's just, if the prospect, ability, and talent and developmental potential matches the award, fine. But the award itself doesn't matter. Devontae Smith isn't as good as Jamar Chase. He's not as good as Jaylen Waddle. Number 3 feels a little early. And then the Jets go Kyle Pitts. It's always an interesting one. Kyle Pitts is a really, really good player. I'm not sure I don't know. It's interesting. I think in the right offense, he could be dynamic enough. In this scenario, he'd give Sam Darnold somebody he can just kind of throw the ball up to, which would work well with Sam Darnold, who's terribly inaccurate. Kyle Pitts is a really good player, big-time playmaker. I would be shocked to see Kyle Pitts go before Jamar Chase. Really good player, but that would surprise me. Cincinnati Bengals take Penei Sewell. Got to protect Joe Burrow. Makes perfect sense. And the Philadelphia Eagles should take Jamar Chase here, and they do. Big-time playmaker for, I guess, Jalen Hurts is going to be their future franchise quarterback. I think they should definitely consider quarterback at this point, though, as well. San Fran trading up with the Detroit Lions to number 7 overall. I assume taking a quarterback. I would imagine Justin Fields here. And it is going to be Justin Fields. 49ers get their future franchise QB. I think Trey Lance is probably a teensy bit better of a player. But Justin Fields is still very, very good. Certainly worth a top 10 pick, as the Panthers should take a quarterback at this point. And it's Mac Jones. Probably my QB5. I almost have, I would say, my top 5 QBs in the draft locked in. Mac Jones is a solid player. I'm not sure he is worth a top 10 pick, but you're going with what you have now, maybe. In Mac Jones, you kind of know what he's all about. Played in the SEC versus a guy like Trey Lance, who has unbelievable potential, but maybe isn't quite as good as Mac Jones right now. I don't even know if I would buy that, though. I think Trey Lance might be a better player right now still. As we have another trade, the Patriots trading up with the Broncos for, gotta be Trey Lance. Gotta be, yep. Trey Lance to the Patriots at number 9. That's an interesting one. Mel Kiper Jr. is getting a little bit crazy here with all these trades, but all these teams need quarterbacks. It is a very, very strong quarterback draft. So you are going to see teams trade up for QBs. It's just going to be something that happens, if I had to bet. So the Broncos move down to number 15. I imagine they don't have a preference of Farley or Surtain in that scenario. But now you can see the Cowboys go Caleb Farley. You could see the 49ers go Caleb Farley or Patrick Surtain. Cowboys take Surtain first, so I guess Mel Kiper Jr. thinks Surtain is a little bit better than Caleb Farley, or at least thinks NFL teams will see that. The New York Giants better take Jaylen Waddle if he's available. Sure is. Jaylen Waddle to the New York Giants. I love this. It's being mocked all over the place, but obviously if you've seen my videos over the past year plus and you saw my video on Jaylen Waddle, I think Jaylen Waddle is a pretty damn good player. This would be a really good fit for the Giants, who are in desperate need of a big-time playmaker and a big-time separator. They just don't have a receiver that creates separation right now. Evan Ingram creates the most, and he's a tight end, and he doesn't catch, which is a problem. Jaylen Waddle is the best of both worlds. Gets open and catches. Love to see it. The Detroit Lions move down to number 12, and they take Micah Parsons, who is available here at number 12. So they have a very good move of moving down and still probably getting the player they might have considered drafting at number 7 anyway. So that one works out pretty well for the Lions. Chargers go Rashawn Slater. Got to protect Justin Herbert. I think this is really good value for Rashawn Slater as well. Vikings go Elijah Vera Tucker. I think that's really good value as well. Right about where he should go. And the Vikings, who should be in a position to trade down. But here's the thing with trade downs. You need to have a team that's willing to move up. And what player at this point are you moving up for? All the top receiving options are off the board. All the top quarterback options are off the board. What are you really moving up for? Broncos take Caleb Farley, who in this world lasts at number 15. Oh yeah, the 49ers moved up. That's right, so they wouldn't have been in position to take a corner at number 12. So I misspoke earlier, that's my bad. Cardinals go J.C. Horn. Patrick Peterson is not likely gone. I think it was already reported that he is gone. So Pat Pete not returning to Arizona. I think, is Kirkpatrick gone as well? I think he is as well. So the Cardinals really could use another cornerback. If Byron Murphy's your guy on the boundary on the other side, this would be a very solid pickup. The Raiders take Trayvon Merrick. That would be really surprising to me. Now, safety's a really, really big need for the Raiders. I think that Eric Harris out there are a lot. And Jonathan Abram just hasn't been particularly good in the NFL so far. But with all the top edge rushers still available, with really all the top linebackers still available as well, seeing the Raiders go safety at 17 would be super surprising. And I don't think that would be a great pick given who's here. I think the Raiders would certainly opt to go edge, linebacker, before going safety here at number 17. But the pick really should be on the defensive side of the ball. Number 18, there goes Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. See, he would be an even better fit for the Raiders. He has safety type flexibility. I mean, it was been reported that he's only playing at like 210, 215 pounds. A little light for a linebacker, but his whole appeal is that he's a bigger safety who can cover and play in the box. And that would be tremendous value for the Raiders at 17 to go with a safety type player anyway. Dolphins could really use a player like this, so that one makes a lot of sense. Football team goes Christian Darrisaw. Their offensive line really needs to be upgraded. I know they graded individually okay on the PFF system if you value that. Brandon Scherf is a free agent as well at right guard. I think the unit overall is not incredible. So Christian Darrisaw, in my opinion, would be a big-time upgrade at left tackle. Bears go Kadarius Toney. Another big-time weapon at wide receiver. The Bears have had a few of those. We know Darnell Money with 2 O's. Allen Robinson is likely going to leave Chicago. So getting an actual big-time receiver on the other side of Kadarius Toney, or other side of Darnell Mooney would be very, very good. But I think I think they might opt to go offensive line rather than receiver here. Receiver certainly makes a ton of sense if Allen Robinson leaves, but we'll have to see what happens with that. Indianapolis Colts go Greg Rousseau. That's a very interesting one. Who's going to play left tackle for them next year? Got to have somebody. Rousseau could be best player available potential-wise for the Colts at 21. I think this makes some sense. Like Justin Houston's super old and apparently is a free agent as well. There are edge rush picks in the past just really haven't worked out. Have you ever heard of Ben Bonogo doing anything? Ben Bonogu? Like, Kamoko Toure hasn't been all that great. Like, they have potential. Their defense has been solid. I think this really should be a tackle here. Maybe even a wide receiver beyond that. Harris Campbell has been unable to stay healthy. T.Y. Hilton is aging and is a free agent, even though I think he has agreed to come back on like a one-year deal or something like that. Titans go Jaylen Phillips. Again, I really don't think this is a great scheme fit for Jaylen Phillips, but if you're going to have him pass rush 99% of the time, yeah, it's fine. But in a 3-4 type defense, I just don't love him because I think he's such a pure 4-3 edge. But Phillips, really good player, best player available. This would be fine for them. Jets go Kwity Paye. Good value for the pick as well. I think you pretty much have to pull the trigger if he's available at 23. Could be one of the top defensive ends in the league in a few years. So, like that pick, pairing him up with Quinnen Williams on the inside. Kwity Paye, I think he'd be a versatile type player that plays not only the edge, but also slides inside on, third and long and things like that. Landon Dickerson, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I mean, Pouncey just retired. This would be a solid pickup. This is about as early as you'd see a center go. And if you like Landon Dickerson that much more than Creed Humphrey, it makes a lot of sense for the Steelers, whose offensive line needs to be completely overhauled, in my opinion. Jags with Christian Barmore. I've seen this a ton. I'm not convinced he's the best D-tackle in the class. This is the first D-tackle we've seen go. He's got a ton of potential and got a lot better as the season went on. Went back and watched him, and that's certainly true. He was super disappointing the first half of the year. But Barmore, I could see him sneaking into the first round. I think there are a lot of defensive tackles who have first-round fringe possibilities. Davion Nixon is certainly in that conversation. Levi Onwuzurike as well. Levi, I feel like I said that weird. Cleveland Browns go Zaven Collins. One of my favorite players in the draft, probably, just because of his versatility. I don't really think he's a defensive end. I think he's an off-the-ball linebacker. I think he's a strong side backer that can rush the passer. He's so big and so athletic, but he's so good in coverage. He's 6'4", 260, and moves a whole lot better than what you'd expect. Zaven Collins is a really, really good player, and I like the fit here for the Browns, who definitely could use a replacement for Olivier Vernon, even though I don't think that's what Zaven Collins is. I think he's just a really good linebacker that gives them best player available. Ravens go Terrace Marshall. They need a big-time playmaker at wide receiver. I don't think Terrace Marshall is the best fit for the Ravens. I think Rashad Bateman available at this pick would be a very, very good pick for the Ravens. When you talk about scheme fit, what the Ravens would be looking for in a receiver, Rashad Bateman just makes so much sense, yet Terrace Marshall is here at 27. They have to go with him instead. Oh, wait, to the Saints, who are looking to replace Trey Hendrickson here. They still have Marcus Davenport. I think they'd be better served with going with maybe a guy like Nick Bolton here, but they're playing best player available maybe in their opinion. Owe is still a player I need to go back and look at, but I know he had a lot of pressure, even if he had 0 sacks. Really, really good athlete. I need to look at him more. At 29, Packers go Joe Tryon. Preston Smith was terrible. They should probably cut him. So getting another edge rusher in there would be pretty good. It's interesting that they list him at outside linebacker as well. He was not someone I was aware could play off the ball. But yeah, they play a 3-4 defense. I think you love what Rashawn Gary did for you last year as he continues to get better. Darius Smith is clearly a really good player. But Joe Tryon here to the Packers at 29. Buffalo Bills go Tevin Jenkins. Yeah, if Darrell Williams leaves, certainly need to consider taking a right tackle. Yeah, Cody Ford could slide out. Played right guard at Oklahoma. And also right tackle too, if I recall. I think he might have been the primary right tackle. So Cody Ford there to the Buffalo Bills. I can't remember. It's been a couple years for Cody Ford now. Was he primary tackle or primary guard? I can't recall. But Tevin Jenkins, if they lose Darrell Williams, easy plug-and-play right tackle. Played right tackle at Oklahoma State. Would be a good fit for them. Kansas City Chiefs go Walker Little. Someone who was so hyped up. Just because he's a really good prospect. Someone that was decent as a freshman. And then we kind of haven't heard too much about. Apparently he's been training. Has been very solid. Because I was talked during the Senior Bowl. Even though I think... Is he a senior? I think he's a junior now. But I think they talked about him at the Senior Bowl. Walker Little is an interesting one for me. Seeing him go round 1 would be surprising just because we haven't really seen that or seen him get hyped up recently. He was someone that was hyped up like 2 years ago for this draft. Interesting to see him go round 1. And the last pick is Azeez Ojulari. Perfect 3-4 outside linebacker type player if Shaq Barrett ends up leaving. And anyway, JPP is not going to be around forever, so this could be a really solid pick. Really, really could be. And could never have enough edge rushers anyway. Overall, I would say Mel Kiper Jr. took plenty of liberties with this mock draft. It was an interesting one of the more interesting ones to read with a lot of trade-ups, a lot of interesting player-over-player type picks, and no running backs in round 1. Wouldn't be entirely surprising. Didn't see it happen last year until pick number 32 for the Chiefs. But I think Najee Harris or Travis Etienne sneaks into round 1. Interesting mock draft. I'd give it like a C+. You got to remember, it is February before free agency. This was a really, really weird one. And I don't agree with a lot of the picks and a lot of the reasoning for the picks. But that is going to do it for me. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
Insane, I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah, promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. Papa turn taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speed burst good.